What's going on, guys? It's gonna be a little dark. It's gonna be a little dark. Let's see if I can pull this up on this. Maybe. Try to see some comments over here. Okay, good evening, everyone. For the replay gang, Eric here, Driveline. My truck is idling right now, so it's a little bit noisy. But as soon as I reposition here shortly, I'll shut it off. Reefer driver, what's up? Good evening. Barry, what's going on? Good evening. Good evening, good evening. I have a video that just went live for members on the channel. And John Huntley just spent 40 hours, good for the next couple years. Yeah, John, I will be out of here tomorrow morning, whether I've got a load or not. I know how to leave here and get a load. So if there's not a load here in the morning, I'm out. But I got a lot of stuff to do tonight. And I'm discovering more. So I have a video that's up for members that'll go up tomorrow morning. But both my steer brakes are both left and right on the steers are cracked. I've got a shock in the back that's leaking pretty bad. That's going to be warranty. I may have a bad brake chamber. If I'm Prime on Friday, I better not be at Prime on Friday. Reefer driver Norman Beck, what up? Currently on at the Iowa 80. Nice. So I'm getting a chassis lube right now. So I'm getting that knocked out, but there's still 6 trucks in front of me. Now I have time to kill. I have a lot of time to kill. My tractor appointment is not till 03:30. Looks like we're moving up. I don't know what's going on with this guy. I'm just going to get in front of him. Probably abandon his truck to go take a shower. As soon as I get moved up in position, I'll shut my truck off. So anyway, I had my left front steer brake done in the spring. And last night when I was driving up here, I felt some pulling and could hear some stuff going on in the front end. So as soon as I got here, I raised the hood, and both my front brakes are cracked. Both of them, both left and right. Not thrilled about that. Not thrilled about that at all. So that's going to be taken care of. I thought I was going to need a new tire because one of my tires has got like this little part where it looks like there's not a screw or anything, but it looks like some of the there's like a little small chunk of tread missing right in the middle. So I don't know if I just hit some rock really hard or something. But I went over to the tire guy and he said it was fine. So fortunately I don't have to buy a tire. Now that's exactly why I don't buy brand new tires. And I do envy those of you who've got brand new shoes on your truck, because I slept today and I was parked next to a truck that had brand new tires. I'm like, oh man, there's a lot of meat on that steak. Those tires look good. But I've just learned my lesson, man. I've had 2 or 3 too many instances where something happened with a brand new tire that had to be replaced out on the road. The tires that I currently have were, I think, rated to have 80,000 miles left on them when I bought them, and they were like 180 a piece. So, you know, I'll never have that new tire smell, at least not on this truck, but I'll also never feel really terrible if I have to replace a tire for some crazy stupid reason. Norman Beck, this is an interesting time. I'm almost 1 year into a 3-year lease purchase. Yeah, this is definitely an interesting time. Brad Brown, how you doing? How's the family? There's a hurricane possible coming towards Texas or Mexico. Brad, I don't think that hurricane's coming into the Gulf. I think that that hurricane's going off the East Coast. All right, it's gonna be a little noisy. Let me get moved up here. I don't know what this Peterbilt's doing, but I ain't waiting around for him. I think he went to take a shower or something. Well, you snooze, you lose, bro. I'm just gonna hop right in front of him in line here. And then we'll get this truck shut off. So anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the hurricane. Yeah, that hurricane is, Brad, I mean, it can do anything. It's pretty early, but I don't think there's any threat of that hurricane coming into the Gulf. What is this guy doing?
I'm gonna go use the restroom real quick, man. If they move up and you want to go around me, I wouldn't feel bad if I got back and you moved up there.
I got all night, man. I ain't in a hurry. I just didn't know what this guy was doing.
Yeah, he's been there a while. Like a couple of us went by. I don't know. Like I was next to him and I was like, if his lights turn on, I'll back up so you can get up there. But
I thought the same thing.
like I drove 7 hours in here and then I've been waiting at the shop and now I'm here and I'm like, I gotta go inside.
Yeah, I won't jump in front of you. I have an appointment at 3:30, so I have until 3:30. I'm just killing time.
Gotcha.
But thanks for letting me know.
Thanks.
All right. Let's see here. What do we got? Norman Beck, are you talking about brake pads or pads? Norman, it's the pads. Just hopping on to hit. I catch a replay later. Hope everyone is well. Jared, thank you. Good to see you. Thanks for dropping in. Barry Harbison, correct. Hurricane going up East Coast, but there is disturbed area in the lower. Oh yeah, I did see that area this morning, and that kind of came out of nowhere too. I did see that. I don't know, man. The weather's so damn kooky this year. John St. Clair, how you doing, man? Norman, Jared, John St. Clair, John Huntley, and it looks like there's 2 or 3 more members on. You guys have a video up that I just published early for you guys. And then I'm going to make a members video tonight that's only for members. That video that just went up is going to publish tomorrow to public. John St. Clair, good to see you too, man. So I was going to be home for 3 weeks, but because my Peep broke down last week, well, he didn't really break down. I said it in my other video that's gone live, but he failed the DOT inspection, the annual DOT inspection. Not anything really a big deal. It was just a bad spring on a brake drum or a brake chamber. And in Pittston, they couldn't get him in until like the next night. And he was either going to have to go home for home time in a couple weeks, or we just ripped a Band-Aid off last week and have him go home then. So I was like, man, just go home now. Like I gave him the choice, but I was like, dude, if you want to go home, just go home now, because you're going to have to sit there for a day, potentially day and a half, potentially 2 days or longer to get a load. And he lives outside of Philly, so it just made sense for him to just like, let's just call an audible, just go home now. So because he was home for a week, I decided, well, I'll just be home for a week and a half. I'll come out and run 2 weeks to make sure I don't get into the hole. And then I'll go back home. So that's why because I was getting ready to do some studio videos and some podcasts over the last couple days, but I just decided I want to go run while the weather's good across the Midwest. And also, the last 2 campaigns that I've run, I've stayed almost exclusively in the Tyson, like Arkansas, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Kentucky, almost exclusively in that circuit, or in the cold storage, Smithfield, Midwest, Ohio, Indiana circuit. And that's been extremely profitable. I know some will argue with me, and if you got a truck payment, then your scenario is a little bit different than mine. But with no truck payment, and this truck is still at 380,000 miles, I'm trying to do as few miles as possible for as much revenue as possible. And with the cost of fuel and it being mostly flat, I'm finding my net per mile is very high if I can stay in. Lyle calls it the matrix. It's actually two matrices. Oh my God. Matrix is. One of them is up there in like Illinois, Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio. If I can stay in that matrix all the time, that's fantastic. The other one for me is Arkansas, Oklahoma, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee. And it's getting loaded in Tennessee or Arkansas and taking that out to Oklahoma, Mississippi, or Gadsden, Alabama, those cold storages, and then routing right back to Arkansas. You can get into that Tyson matrix and just go back and forth. So because I've had such success with that the last 2 outings, I'm hoping to be able to get back into that soon, like tomorrow. Let's see. So I was making you aware. Brad, man, I watch the weather like a hawk, dude. Meat belt always has worked. Man, Barry, I'm gonna be honest with you. I know a lot of guys are having success with the meat patch, but to me, the meat patch is just dead. Like it's not what it used to be. I don't try to get to the meat patch. I don't think that it's as rewarding as it used to be. There's way too many multi-stop loads that pay what solo loads used to pay. And it's just not that impressive to me anymore. It's just not, man. I mean, what do we consider an impressive meat patch load? What is that? What does that look like to you? Because the last couple times my trucks have ended up in Dodge City or one of the meat places up in Iowa or somewhere like that. We're talking 220, 230, 240 a mile, trying to get us to do runs with multiple stops for that kind of pay. I can do that all day long in the Midwest or in the Tyson belt, or pretty damn close to it. So I don't know, man. I used to see the meat patches like you got to get to the meat patch, man, because then you're gonna get that one good bomb load, and I'm just not seeing it. Now, I guess it's because you could get longer loads, but to me it seems like we're falling a little bit too much for the total dollar amount, and we're not really breaking that down on the net. Or I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense, but to me it's just not as lucrative and attractive as it used to be. There's way too many multi-stop loads. And by the way, those multi-stop loads years ago paid a minimum of $3 a mile for multi-stop for like 2 or 3 deliveries. And now they're paying the same as a single stop load. John Huntley, I dropped at Council Bluffs and basically got forced into a 34 on the load out there. Fell apart time-wise, and that led to the 40 at Springfield. Really killed this week. Yeah, it's brutal. Norman, back to short game with loads that allow 24-hour early drops can be very profitable. Yeah, exactly, Norman. I forgot to mention that. That's a really good point. Now, the loads that leave Northwest Arkansas, well, for the most part, not all of them, but for the most part, are going to have appointments at their 90, and they're going to be live unloads. You know, it'll be like a Walmart in Mississippi, or, you know, something like that. Or something like that over in Oklahoma. But what you'll get back, at least in my experience, like if you go to Union City, Tennessee, which I did like 3 Union City loads over the course of 2 weeks. You can drop and hook them early at Union City, and you can when you're picking up in Union City going to Northwest Arkansas, you can drop and hook that early. Same with the Tyson cold storage coming out of Gadsden, Alabama. You can drop and hook that early in Northwest Arkansas. So I was having this conversation with someone the other day. I'm like, yeah, but you know, when you deliver, you got to wait a full day to go pick that load up. That's true in the Tyson belt, but you can also almost at least half the time deliver it early. And half the time it's going to be ready early. And maybe I just had good luck, but I was picking up early and delivering early a lot. Daniel, the meat patch was never that good back when I drove for Prime. Norman Beck, revenue per day is an important factor to me. My fixed costs of my lease purchase are too. Yeah, revenue per day was a lot more important to me when I had a payment. Revenue per day mattered a lot to me when I had an appointment. Now, Now I'm trying not to put. Now I very much pay attention to miles. On the comment on the meat patch, Daniel, it's been a while, but man, the meat patch used to be. It used to be solid. And I think I've talked about it on the channel over recent months. One of the things is that these customers they basically have the carriers by the balls. They have all the leverage, right? And so what's happening right now is they're getting multi-stop loads for single stop pricing. And they're taking advantage of it big time. There's far more multi-stop loads coming out of the meat patch than have been in the past. And what they do is they still have the stop pay on there, but they drop the non-stop pay line haul. So you're really kind of getting the same pay as a single stop load. Like the stop pay is supposed to be on top of the rate. You're not supposed to drop the line haul rate and then add the stop pay. Daniel, oh, you left Prime in 2014. Okay, so yeah, that was before my time. Eric, can I meet you if you're in Decatur, Illinois? I can't think of the last time I've been in Decatur. I mean, maybe through there. Norman, when I started in 2018, the minimum rev per day for lease was 500. 2018, 500. So, oh man, I was there at the end of 2018, early 2019, and it was way higher than that. because 500 times 7, you're at 3,500. I think I was targeting 4,500 when I upgraded. And I was pretty easily doing 4,500 to 5,000 per week gross. And then, of course, I went to team at the end of 2019 with my wife. And then COVID hit that next, what was it, spring. And we just, like, it just rained money on us. Daniel, Brian Singleton was my dispatcher. Okay, got it. I don't know Brian Singleton. What does this mean? I don't understand what that means. What is this top fan thing YouTube is doing? I don't like that. I don't like considering viewers as fans. That's kind of gay. Daniel, he's in Salt Lake now. Okay, got it. 500 per day was the minimum dispatch was supposed to use when assigning loads. Oh, were they really, Norman? That's interesting. I would tell you right now that I don't know if they're using that kind of system right now, but I would say a lot of these fleet managers probably have a lot of trucks that's their average right now, and that's crazy to me. What is this guy doing? By the way, here's a thought for you guys. You guys, if you drive for Prime, remember how they kind of made this big deal out of bringing these electric yard trucks? They had I think 1 or 2 electric yard trucks here in Springfield. You notice they ain't using that shit anymore? So I keep hearing all these stories. Oh yeah, it's all going to be electric. It's all going to be autonomous, and it's all going to be electric. Man, they had those electric yard trucks in operation here in Springfield for like a month. I don't even see them anymore. I only saw them using one maybe for a month and hardly ever using it. And now I don't think that thing's here anymore. Roadshow, what's up, man? Roadshow's on a mission from God. How do you feel about inflation? Has it affected you more? Yeah, inflation's absolutely insane right now. And they released those fake numbers the other day, and talk about being completely disconnected from reality out here. Inflation is absolutely out of control. Norman, with the current situation, I've turned down some 300 per day over 5-day loads. Yeah, 1,500 for 5 days. God, man. Yep. Jim, who drives my Peterbilt, he and I were arguing with our night dispatcher earlier because they were trying to get him on a load that just paid crap, and didn't deliver till Saturday. And the night dispatch guy, not my normal night dispatch guy, my normal night dispatch guy is Mikey, but he's out right now. And by the way, Mikey is fantastic. I love him. But he's not in. So I'm like arguing this with this night guy. I'm like, hey, I don't really want this load on my truck. You know, it's just not, like, it doesn't make any sense for me. He says, well, he can deliver it early. And I'm like, did you even look at the math? He can't deliver it early. If it's 1,000 miles loaded and he has to pick it up tomorrow night, which would be Thursday night, and the appointment is Saturday morning, how does he deliver that early? I mean, I guess maybe a couple hours early, but I mean, he's still got to run 1,000 miles. The point is, he's been available for dispatch all day today. And Jim was able to call the shipper and find out that the load was ready today. Why couldn't Prime tell us that? If they would have avoided this whole damn argument if they would have just started out with, oh, the load's ready a day early. It's sitting there loaded. You could have just started with that. We had to call and find that out. Anyway. Trucking live with my Filipino wife. Hey, man, I saw a comment of you saying that you wanted to reach out. I don't know if you're on Discord, but if you're on Discord, I'll give you my cell phone number. John St. Clair, LOL at fake. They are fake numbers. Come on. Nobody buys this shit. Anybody who goes into a grocery store knows full well that the inflation numbers are fake. I just did a post about it in Discord, I think, either Discord or X, on how if you really look at most of the stuff that we have to buy in trucking, and that could be load locks, gloves, tools, fluids. Hang on a second, it's gonna get loud. I gotta pull up. Whatever. Washouts. Now, we don't pay for washouts, but you know what I mean. Anything we have to buy, sorry, that beeping is, I'm sure, is breaking some eardrums. Anything we have to buy is now approaching 40% versus what it was, say, 4 or 5 years ago. 40%. Now, I know that's trucking, and I know we're kind of, they got us by the balls, right? Because we have to go into truck stops and all that stuff. But that's near 40%. So when you put out these numbers that say, oh, well, the prices you're paying for everything is only increasing 2.7% per quarter, not 2.8%. We should celebrate. It's still increasing 2.7%, meaning it's not decreasing. It's only not increasing as fast. It's still increasing. Roadshow, freight has been weird. Yeah, freight has been weird. It definitely has been weird, man. I mean, I've got my lanes that I'm trying to stay in. I'm familiar with them. I'm familiar with the customers. I'm familiar with what the rates are going to be. I'm familiar with what loads are available on what days and what time those are usually ready. Like, I've got some lanes that I really know and understand, and I'm trying to stick to those. But if I wander out of those lanes, I'm finding some weird shit going on. I agree with you on that. There's weird shit going on with rates and the way some of these, like, I've picked up loads that were supposed to have, 43,000 pounds that ended up with 12,000 pounds. And then I've picked up loads where they tried to put another stop on it that I didn't agree to, so I backed out. There's all kind, and I know some of that stuff is kind of always happened, but what's a good reefer rate these days, Daniel? It may be sad to you. For me, a good reefer rate is all in 215, 220. And that would be more for the 500 or 600 mile runs. If it's less than 500, it's got to be more. I didn't say that's what I'm getting all the time. I'm saying that's what I would consider good. And it's pretty sad. Norman Beck, 650 days should be the new minimum. We're looking at the St. Louis Fed Reserve CPI index. Man, as a solo truck, our averages should be a minimum. And this is just Prime, so I apologize to anyone who's not with Prime. That's all I have experience with, so that's what I'm going to speak to. Our minimum so if we've taken, let's assume that our inflation in trucking is at, let's say 35%. I think it's 35%, but I think it's closer to 40, but let's say 35%. if we go back to 2020, 2021, where I think a solo could now I'm not going to say easily because I wasn't a solo truck, but everyone I know who was a solo truck was basically maintaining $5,000 per week. Relatively, it was pretty attainable. Minimum 5,000 gross per week per truck, okay? And we're not doing that now, not solo. But let's say we were now. And let's say that inflation has hit 35%. That means that you're taking a 35% cut on your net. So if that's the case, then your net should be increased by 35% to match inflation. What would it take for your net to increase 35%? I'm going to say probably, what, 6,000 gross? You should be at 6,000 gross. And I'm probably way off on my numbers, but you get my point. We really should be at 6,000 gross per truck at prime right now to have the same level of success that we had 4 or 5 years ago. And I can tell you right now, most solo trucks ain't anywhere remotely close to that. Let's see. Jordan Evitz, Stacy and I don't make good money unless we have good high value or a couple FedEx loads in for the week. Jordan, I haven't seen you in Discord. I hope y'all are doing well. But that's crazy, Jordan, that you and Stacy aren't doing well as a team, though. That's crazy. Eternity to you, $800 paycheck last week. Ouch. Okay, that used to be a dry van rate. Daniel, yeah, I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying it's good now. I'm not saying like good generally. 35% is atrocious. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is, John St. Clair. And look, if you don't believe me, look at the price of a truck wash or a washout at Blue Beacon 4 years ago versus today. Look at the price of a load lock at Prime 4 years versus today. The ones they sell. It's right at exactly 35% increase. I think washouts from 2 years ago went from $37.50 to what, 45, or is it 46 or 47 for a standard washout? Look at the prices of gloves. Look at the prices of windshield wiper fluid 2 to 4 years ago versus today. I promise you it's all 35 to 40% higher on everything. Lenny, what's up, man? Norenbeck, last week Thursday and Friday my revenue was 3,000 and then the weekend hit. Tough one out there. Yeah, it is really tough. Guard Dog, what's up? Guard Dog, that makes me think of First Guard, who our insurance is through for our trucks. First Guard's logo is a guard dog. John Tiller, what's up, man? John Tiller is a moderator on driverdiscord.com. And John Tiller, well, I don't know if he wants me to tell. I won't share. Anyway. But John Tiller did recently upgrade at Prime. Congratulations. Being held hostage is 90. Guard Dog, yes, hit the like button, please. Real quick, you guys. It's super easy, free to do. Tap the like button if you could. What did that? Oh, yeah, John Tiller. So I'm not going to do it for this winter because it's almost, we got like probably a month left before it becomes hoodie weather. So then I'll be wearing my Bears reflective hoodie and stuff like that for my safety vest. But next, and by the way, I don't wear a Prime safety vest. I have a Bears regular safety vest. But next year, John, I've already got the design. I've already tested it out on one of those custom sites. I'm ordering a black safety vest that on the back, in yellow reflective letter font and lettering, it says, "Am I being detained?" John Tiller, say what you want. I'm not hiding. Well, John, all I was gonna say is John was Jen and I really wanted and we're really hoping for John to be able to drive one of our trucks. We had lengthy conversations, and John was planning on doing so right up until maybe 2 weeks before he upgraded. And I just couldn't. I had to extend a warranty on a truck, which was very expensive, so I just wasn't in a position to order a new truck yet. I am ordering new trucks. Let me rephrase that. I'm not ordering new trucks. I am ordering more trucks. Or not even ordering. I'm going to be buying more trucks. But I'm not ready to do it just yet. So I was super bummed that John couldn't drive one of our trucks. That's all I was going to say. John St. Clair, LOL. Norman, your results will depend on knowing when to say no. Short runs with early delivery options save the rest of the week. Yeah, Norman, for sure. And I have zero qualms with saying no. None whatsoever. Brad Brown, are you going to get a new truck? I hope the Bear do okay this year. I'm not getting a brand new truck. I will not be buying a brand new. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. If you got into a brand new truck lease purchase a year or two ago, congratulations. I just would not wish that on my worst enemy, getting into a brand new lease purchase now, today. I just wouldn't. No way in hell would I do that. Welcome back home. Don't say no. Don't say no to what? If you're saying don't say no to loads, you're high on crack, bro. I say no to loads every week. Saying no, it's kind of like, you know, the drug campaign of the 90s for me. Just say no. Just say no. Like, it's a part of my weekly routine. If I don't say no to a load, I feel like I'm doing something wrong. John Tiller, you know, yeah, okay, got that. Welcome back home cheesecake. That's a hilarious name, by the way. That is hilarious. How many trucks are in front of me? All I need is a damn chassis lube. There's still 3 trucks in front of me. It don't matter. It's only 9:40. The only other thing I have to do is go through the inspection bay. I'm going to pull into the inspection bay and be like, hey, before we even get started, I got 2 cracked brake pads. I got potentially a bad brake chamber and a shock that's leaking all the way around it. And that's for starters. Lyle, no hippie trucking transportation. Sometimes you have to turn down a load just so they know you'll turn down a load. Yeah. Yeah, Lyle, my fleet manager is very well aware of my capacity for saying no. John St. Clair, I've been listening to Eric for a few years now. He's got a special no button on his cell. Yeah. Jordan, $37 at TA or Petro. My chassis lube is done. I stopped messing with the express bay for only that. Yeah, but Jordan, I don't have anything else to do. So my tractor appointment's not till 03:30. Normally I would just go through Love's or something like that because I get the points too. But I slept all day And so I have all night until 3:30. Now it's possible, because they had appointments all night tonight, so it's possible when I get over there and go through the inspection bay after this chassis lube that I'll get called in early for this appointment. I hope that's the case, because I have a plan for how I'm getting off the yard tonight, and it does not involve taking a shitty load that doesn't show up until tomorrow night. Let's see. Clorox, not bleach. Can you explain the process for a used lease purchase? Yeah, I got to make a video on this anyway, but okay, here's the cheat code. So if you've made it this long, what are we at? 40 minutes? If you made it this far in, then you're going to get the cheat code. I'll tell you the cheat code. And it's not really a cheat code. It's not something they hide, but they don't really, what they want you to do is get into a new lease purchase first. But I will tell you right now that you can call, you don't call Success Leasing, you call Pedigree. And Pedigree has a list of trucks that haven't gone through the conversion and all that shit, that you can finance in-house through Success Leasing, and it's pretty much kind of the same process as doing a new truck, but they're used trucks. But they're used trucks with a lot less miles. They're not like the shit you see over there on their lot. The last one that I inquired about, I think it had 230,000 miles on it. It's a couple years of warranty left. And I believe, I don't remember what the total payment, what the total price was. I don't recall. But if I had put 15,000 down, my payment with the APU would have been at like $850 or something, $850. And I think it was for like 2 years or a year and a half or 2 years, something like that. I don't remember. I don't remember the details. All I remember is what matters to me right now is having absolutely minimized weekly fixed costs. The doing a brand new lease purchase right now with a fixed cost means you ain't going home. There's so much liability with that, and things can go sideways so quick. It's just not worth it to me. But going through the Pedigree Success Leasing sort of back way of getting a newer used truck, not the beaters they sell over there, that is the optimal way to go about it. And you can put even more on that deposit to bring your weekly payment down. It's a little bit different in that you don't have like broken out APU costs or anything like that. It's just one payment, and it's based on the amount that you put down. So, you know, if you walked in there with 20, 25, 30,000 down, your payment's going to be a lot less. And to me right now, one of the most important things of being successful is having the absolute lowest amount of fixed cost and the greatest amount of cash flow on a week-to-week basis as you possibly can. And you're talking about damn near half the amount of a payment of a brand new truck to go that path. Use lease purchase code for run really, really fast. Prime is leasing beater trucks. Is that what I heard you say? No, they're not. I didn't say that at all. I'm not sure where you picked up on that. Prime sells beater. I consider them beater trucks. Some of those Pedigree trucks. I've got a friend who's bought like 13 trucks from Pedigree, and he has pretty good experience with most of them, but he's driven trucks off the Pedigree lot that have had to be towed before he even got them to his shop. So, you know. Yeah, Clorox. Hey, they have trucks out there for like 500,000-600,000 miles on them that, you know, I have my own opinion on all that, but I wouldn't be buying one of those. The only reason it works out for my buddy is because he has a shop over in Oklahoma, just outside of Joplin. He has his own shop. He has his own full-time tech that can rebuild engines and transmissions and all that stuff. And he runs freight for Seaboard and Cargill. So it's different for him. He can come buy a truck with 5, 6, 700,000 miles on it because he's got the ability to do all the repairs himself. If you don't have that, you could be getting yourself in a lot of trouble. So anyway, what are we pushing up on an hour here? 45 minutes? Yeah, I'm going to jump off here shortly. I got to do a members video for the members of the channel. For everybody else, there is a video that I published a little bit ago for members that'll go live for you guys tomorrow morning. For everybody else, if you haven't done so, you need to join driverdiscord.com. You're missing out. You're truly missing out. All right, guys. Be safe. Make good decisions. Always drive, thrive. I'll talk to y'all soon.